I don't have a problem with the WNBA players asking for a raise. The WNBA is on a hot streak. I don't care about the previous 24, 25 years. As an investment, it's starting to pay off. And so this week they wore T-shirts saying, making a statement, you better pay us. But instead of just leaving it at that, a Kelsey Plum for LA had to take a dig at Caitlin Clark.
Colin Cowherd just shook the WNBA to its core, and this time he aimed straight at Kelsey Plum. The moment he opened his mouth, you could feel the tension crack through the air. For years, no one dared to say what he said out loud. While Caitlin Clark is single-handedly dragging a struggling league into a global spotlight, Plum took a subtle shot at the very person responsible for that rebirth. Cowherd didn't flinch. He went in hard. What he uncovered about the quiet jealousy bubbling inside the WNBA locker rooms will leave you speechless. So what exactly did he reveal? And why is he daring to compare Caitlin Clark to the one and only Michael Jordan? If you're riding with Caitlin, drop a golden goose in the comments, because this story's just getting started.
T-shirt, just United Front was determined this morning that we had a meeting for, and not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that.
Oh boy.
Want to understand just how massive this shift really is? Imagine this. For more than 20 years, WNBA players hustled across the country on budget. Flights, some even had to pay for water mid-air. Seasons came and went. Arenas sat half empty, and players poured their hearts out for teams bleeding money year after year. Merchandise sales, practically invisible. Most fans couldn't even find a jersey if they tried. The league was running on hope and hard work alone. And yet, something was about to change, something no one saw coming.
But why do you take a shot at the golden goose, Caitlin Clark? You guys were flying before she arrived on one of those airlines that made you pay for a cup of water. One of those airlines that is the planes are the color of a highlighter. Now you're flying private. Okay, if you're in a band and you're staying at the Motel 6 and you add a band member and now you're at the Ritz-Carlton, keep your issues to yourself. All right, you went from a Motel 6 in a sketchy part of town to a Four Seasons in the shopping district. Stop talking.
Then came Caitlin Clark, and in a heartbeat, the entire landscape flipped. Overnight, jersey sales didn't just rise, they exploded, 500% up. Attendance surged nearly 40% league-wide. Entire cities that once struggled to fill a section were suddenly selling out every seat. Teams that had been drowning in debt found themselves counting profits. The Indiana Fever, once considered a lost cause, now has fans begging for season tickets. And this wasn't luck, it was momentum, fueled by one name, one spark, one player. But that spark would soon ignite tension nobody expected.
I don't mind the T-shirts. I think you have leverage. I think you deserve more than 9%. But it's just misstep after misstep. It's time to grow up, girls, fast. Like this is the player that got you off the airline that was bright yellow, right? She got you an upgrade to a better hotel as a band member.
Here's what really set Cowherd off. Those same players who once squeezed into cramped planes and shared low-budget hotels are now soaring in private jets, staying in luxury suites, and cashing bigger checks than ever before. The WNBA's finances are thriving. The life these athletes dreamed of is finally real. Yet some veterans, those who should be most grateful, are turning bitter. Instead of celebrating progress, they're grumbling about the woman who made it possible. And Cowherd, he's not having it. He's seen too much to stay silent any longer.
I think they deserve a big raise, maybe not 50% of revenues, because NBA stars, there's a lot of them, and they move the needle. The WNBA stars, well, there's one that moves the needle. And here's the other thing to remember. Caitlin Clark's already rich. She made $11 million this year alone in endorsements off the court. So regardless of how these negotiations go, she's set. Nobody else is, right? So when somebody joins the band and everything gets upgraded, just be happy.
Let's call it what it is. Caitlin Clark didn't just play basketball, she redefined the business. When she steps on the court, TV ratings spike. When she speaks, Sponsors listen. Her energy turned apathy into obsession. Young girls flood stores for her jerseys faster than factories can restock them. Every player, every team, every paycheck benefits from her presence, whether they admit it or not. And that's where Cowherd's frustration boils over. He watched this revolution unfold in real time and can't fathom why anyone would bite the hand that feeds them. After decades of struggle, the league is finally winning. So why are some still complaining? Maybe the answer isn't about money or fame, but something far deeper simmering beneath the surface.
I know you wanted your song to be the first one they played. You wanted to make up the set. But I mean, it's not the t-shirts. You're going to do fine. I'd scale back on the Caitlin Clark angst.
Cowherd summed it up with one brutal but brilliant line. The WNBA's rise is like going from a Motel 6 in a sketchy alley to a Four Seasons in the luxury district. That one quote says it all. Caitlin Clark didn't just elevate a league. She rebuilt its entire image. The travel, the treatment, the paychecks, the respect, it's all upgraded because one player made the world look again. Yet some veterans still act like nothing's changed, trapped in an old mindset. They're sipping champagne in five-star comfort, while complaining about the person who got them out of the Motel 6. And then came the All-Star voting results. The moment Cowherd realized this wasn't just jealousy, it was something uglier, something that couldn't be ignored any longer. Because what those votes revealed about respect or the lack of it shook the league to its core.
Caitlin Clark finished 9th in player voting. In fact, she finished behind one of her own teammates in player voting for the All-Star game. The pettiness has no bounds. But it's interesting, for years, the WNBA players were pointing fingers. They were saying people are sexist, the media is sexist, we're not being promoted, we're underappreciated. And then they get the golden goose and they don't like what it looks like.
When the ballots came in, fans had spoken loud and clear. Caitlin Clark ranked first among guards. No surprises there. She's the face of the league, the reason arenas are packed and merch is flying off shelves. But then came the player votes. Ninth place. The same stars who profit from her success pushed her down the list. This wasn't a close call. It was a massive gap between how the fans see her and how her peers pretend not to. Cowherd stared at those numbers and knew this wasn't just disagreement. It was deliberate.
Iowa girl, Indiana girl. Well, who knows, and I've said this for years, when the wave hits, ride it. You don't know what it looks like. Don't fight it. When Puka Nacua went in the 5th round of the Rams and they suddenly in camp went, oh, we just found a new #1 receiver. He's better than Cooper Kupp. They didn't fight it. Did you think when you watched Tom Brady at the Combine, that looked like the GOAT? They had just signed Drew Bledsoe to a $103 million contract. That was a lot of money back then. And then a year in, they're like, I'm going to go with Brady. They didn't fight.
Let's be honest, this wasn't about basketball. Clark's stats spoke for themselves. Record-breaking games, highlight reels, consistent dominance. She had earned her spot. But the votes, they told a different story, a personal one. Think of LeBron when he first hit the league. Veterans didn't love the attention, but they respected the skill. Or Tiger Woods' rise shook golf's old guard, but they still admired what he brought. Caitlin's case feels different because the resistance is so obvious and so small-minded. Cowherd didn't sugarcoat it. He called it out for what it was, pettiness. Instead of embracing the golden goose, too many players were sabotaging the very future that feeds them. And that, he warned, would come back to haunt them all.
You know, there's obviously a racial component here. The WNBA players, they just don't like what the wave looks like. They wanted to fly private. They wanted to be more popular. They wanted a better deal in the CBA, which they'll get. They wanted sold out arenas. They got it. They don't necessarily think it should be this. But again, you can't fight it. You just never know what success looks like.
What made it sting even more was the hypocrisy. Stars like Aja Wilson and Kelsey Plum have seen their fame skyrocket because of the attention Clark brought. More fans, bigger deals, better conditions, or byproducts of the same phenomenon they seem to resent. Their jerseys are selling because Caitlin made WNBA jerseys cool again. Their paychecks are rising because sponsors are flooding in. Yet, when the time came to show a little professional respect on the All-Star ballot, they didn't. They chose to act blind to the reality. That made them richer, and that silence spoke louder than any interview ever could.
Every company in the country would love to go viral every day for free marketing. If they knew how to do it, they'd all be viral every day. Like, you just don't know. Is it authentic? It touches people. There's a tentacle of emotion involved, and suddenly some small town kid goes viral, or a singing frog. Who knows? I wouldn't have guessed that Caitlin Clark would be this transformative. I wouldn't have guessed Tom Brady would be the GOAT. Don't fight it. The wave, the meteor doesn't necessarily look like you think it's going to look.
And the truth behind those votes, it's spilling onto the court. Every hard foul, every shove, every icy stare, it's all connected. Where the resentment is physical now, you can feel it in every possession when Clark steps on the floor. These aren't just competitive plays, they're emotional reactions. Proof that some veterans can't accept being outshined by a sophomore who rewrote the rulebook. The same players who thrive in her spotlight are punishing her for it, both in the voting booths and between the lines. And as Cowherd put it, that says less about Caitlin Clark's dominance and more about what the league is still afraid to face.
People are saying, hey man, this league has never made money. It's an investment. It's now going to make money. And by the way, this is the least profitable, arguably, it'll be over the next 10 years. It's only going to get more profitable as women's basketball gets better, as the Caitlin Clark momentum train gets bigger. I mean, this year, she's not playing well. She's hurt. She's not there for all the games. So this is actually not as great as it could be. Like Michael Jordan, hurt year 2, next 12 years were legendary. That's what it's going to be.
Interview 11, Cowherd dropped a comparison so sharp, it instantly cut through the noise and made a lot of people uneasy. He said the truth out loud. Caitlin Clark and Michael Jordan walked the same path. Both arrived as rookies who didn't just play the game, they changed the game. Jordan transformed the NBA into a worldwide obsession, and right now, Clark is doing the same for the WNBA. The parallels are undeniable. The swagger, the spotlight, the impact, it's all there. So why is no one talking about it? Maybe because deep down they already know and it scares them.
Caitlin Clark's gotten really good really fast. It's like the end of year 1 for Michael Jordan or year 3 for Michael Jordan. She's gotten really good really fast. And you got to put a body on her, or you got to double team her, or she's going to embarrass you. She's shooting 33-footers. And what happened last night's a byproduct of that. This is what happened to MJ. She's number 1 and 2 in every offensive stat. She's hitting more threes this season than Steph Curry did in his first MVP season, and her game embarrasses you.
The proof isn't just in stats, it's in the bruises. Jordan had to survive the Jordan rules, a brutal system designed by the Detroit Pistons to wear him down through sheer physical punishment. And Clark, she's living her own version of it. The hard fouls, the late hits, the relentless targeting, it's been there all season long. Just like in Jordan's early years, referees are struggling to keep up. Cowherd pointed out how often officials simply look the other way, allowing contact that borders on inappropriate. The question now is, how much more can she take before the league steps in?
It's a little bad boys Pistons with MJ. For the record, Caitlin Clark got up. She wasn't hurt. She did more trash talking. She hit more threes. She remained remarkable, just like all the great. You know, if you respect women, stop pandering. She's tough. She's feisty. She likes to taunt and talk. And nobody quite knows what the hell to do.
And when Clark finally went down with an injury, missing that one crucial game, it felt eerily familiar. Jordan faced the same fate early in his career when teams tried to break his spirit physically. Back then, officiating wasn't ready for players who elevated the sport beyond its rules. The same thing's happening again. Both the NBA and WNBA had to learn painfully that when generational talents arrive, they must adapt fast or risk losing the very stars who make them shine.
Steph Curry's first couple years in the league. Thank God for Draymond Green. And by the way, this league, they knew what they were getting into, right? Like, and I'll get to this in a second, but they brought Sophie Cunningham over in a trade for a reason. She's the youngest black belt in the state of Missouri's history, 6 years old. They brought her over to protect Caitlin Clark because they saw this puppy coming. The league doesn't quite know what to do, but the Fever did. And so, again, you got to put a body on her. You got to get physical.
So what did both teams do? They got protection. The Bulls brought in Charles Oakley, a powerhouse enforcer, to guard Jordan. The Indiana Fever made their own strategic move, bringing in Sophie Cunningham, known for her toughness, to shield Clark from unnecessary hits. Cowherd called it exactly what it is: smart business. When you've got a player who can rewrite history, you don't just play defense, you build an army around her. And if history really does repeat itself, this move might define an entire era.
Go look at the history of basketball, high school, college, WNBA, NBA. If there's an offensive player and they're humiliating you, Steph, Shaq, MJ, Caitlin, what do? You can't trap her, she'll dribble through it. You gotta put a body on her. You gotta double team her. You try to get in her head with trash talking. It's not working at all. It's the ultimate compliment, in my opinion.
The parallels don't stop at the court. Look at the numbers, TV ratings, jersey sales, sponsorship spikes. Cowherd labeled Clark a dynastic TV rating changer, the same term once used for Michael Jordan's rookie explosion. Both became must-watch television the moment they stepped onto the floor. The WNBA's current surge mirrors the NBA's golden age rights down to the jealousy it sparked. Just like veteran NBA stars once resented Jordan's rise, some WNBA veterans can't handle Clark's spotlight. The All-Star voting made that resentment undeniable. And as Cowherd warned, history is repeating itself only this time. The world is watching in real time.
And so the first year Caitlin Clark was in the WNBA, they were hazing her. They're not hazing her anymore. They're just trying to figure out how the hell to stop her. It's not hazing. It's, all right, traps, pressure. So the Fever saw it coming. They went and got Sophie Cunningham, 6-year-old black belt. This is what the Bulls did with Charles Oakley to protect Michael Jordan.
The college connection ties it all together like destiny. Just as Michael Jordan's fame at North Carolina carried straight into his NBA takeover, Caitlin Clark's Iowa stardom is rewriting the WNBA's future. Both players dragged their massive college fan bases into the pros, changing not just teams but entire cultures. Cowherd believes this is what makes Clark unstoppable. The pressure, the criticism, the physical toll it will all forge her into something stronger, just as it did Jordan. He's convinced these growing pains aren't setbacks. They're the foundation of greatness. But only if the WNBA learns to embrace this revolution instead of resisting it.
Caitlin Clark now is like kerosene to the physicality flame. So you have physicality in this league, and now you get this flashy player, and they don't know how to officiate her, they don't know how to defend her. But I would say, when I hear this, Colin, the WNBA, Colin, has got to do something. Yes, they do. Understand, this is the arc of a new superstar in your league. It'll start with hazing. It'll go to physicality. It'll go to flagrants. It may go to technicals. You'll eventually have to get a Sophie Cunningham or a Charles Oakley. I mean, Wayne Gretzky did this for years. They figured it out in hockey. How do you stop Gretzky? Oh, we can't. How do you stop MJ? We can't. How do you stop Caitlin Clark? You guys understand, this is the worst she'll ever be. She's getting better, and they can't stop her.
Then Cowherd dropped his most powerful prediction yet, one that echoed through the sports world. The WNBA's future runs through Caitlin Clark, he said, and he's right. Whether jealous veterans like it or not, Clark's second season will decide how the league operates for the next decade. The momentum is already unstoppable. For the first time in history, the WNBA is standing at the edge of real financial success. TV ratings, sponsorships, salaries, it all hinges on how the league rides the Clark wave. Cowherd warned that opportunities like this don't come twice. Miss it now, and women's basketball might never see another breakout like her again. The question is, who's smart enough to ride that wave and who's foolish enough to fight it?
But intensity and heat create steel. This will only make Caitlin Clark a better player. It will only make the Fever more championship ready. And the Indiana fans, good for you. You're going to have the great watch of the next 15 years because they're never trading her. She's the Steph Curry. They're never trading her.
Cowherd didn't stop there. He turned the camera toward other leagues that faced the same crossroads. When generational talents appeared, some veterans adapted and rose with them. Others resisted and vanished. He praised players like Lexie Hull, Sophie Cunningham, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston, women who chose collaboration over ego. They didn't fight Clark's spotlight. They stood beside it, sharing in the energy that's rebuilding the sport. They defended her when critics circled, celebrated her victories, and built chemistry that turned Indiana Fever games into must-watch events. And now, the rewards are showing. Cowherd painted a vivid picture of what 2025 could look like. Sold-out arenas, sponsorships that actually move numbers, little girls wearing WNBA jerseys to school, and television networks battling for broadcast rights. It's all within Rickif. Everyone decides to pull in the same direction.
Now, Caitlin Clark is obviously the jet fuel. Half the audience goes when she's not there, but that's okay. It took Conor McGregor to the UFC and John Jones. It sometimes in emerging leagues, it takes a superstar. And now, you know, America is all into UFC. But it does take sometimes these special athletes. And it can get really, really bumpy.
But what if they don't? What if the division deepens, the league split into two camps? Those riding the Clark wave and those drowning beneath it. Cowherd didn't mince words. He said the truth most won't. Caitlin Clark has already become the face of women's basketball. The numbers prove it. The fans confirm it, and the money follows it. Resistance is no longer rebellion, it's self-sabotage. He ended with a message that hit like a mic drop. Stop biting the hand that feeds you. Appreciate the golden goose. The WNBA is living through a transformation no one thought possible. Fighting it makes zero sense. If you truly believe in women's basketball, back Caitlin Clark and the smart players who see what's coming. Lexi Hull, Aaliyah Boston, Sophie Cunningham, and Kelsey Mitchell. They're not fighting the tide, they're surfing it 22-5. Could be the year women's basketball finally breaks into the mainstream, if the league stops fighting itself and starts moving as one. If you support Caitlin, comment Golden Goose, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this story, it's just getting started.